Hello, welcome everyone to the Gameweek 19 reaction stream, or actually reacting to the Gameweek 18 games basically. So we've just watched literally it has just ended, the Wolves versus Chelsea game, and it does not make for good viewing as a Chelsea fan, but that aside, Merry Christmas everyone, thank you for coming early. For those of you in the chat already, VJ, another donation for the UNICEF charity drive. Thank you very much. And of course, season greetings to all of you as well. Merry Christmas to you, VJ. Kath Dan is in the chat as well. K7 as well. So thank you guys for coming early. I thought today let's do a reaction stream, right? Because the Game Week 19 deadline is on Boxing Day already. It's coming thick and fast, right? We've just ended the Game Week 19 games. The Game Week 18 games. It's an absolute disaster of a match for Chelsea, but what can I say? That's just how we've been playing of late. I think the only consolation is that Nkunku is off the mark. Is he an option? Let's discuss about that in this stream. Another question is also about the yellow cards, right? So the yellow cards for Cole Palmer as well as the yellow card for Raheem Sterling. So both of them are suspended for Game Week 19 now. And does that mean that Nkunku becomes a better option because he probably will have to play against Crystal Palace because they don't really have ready-made replacements. I mean, they could play Broya again. They could also play Mudryk if they don't really want to start Nkunku. But I see this as the perfect opportunity to start him against Crystal Palace. So let's see what happens. Right, I should be putting my score instead of the team for Game Week 19. So this is my score. I'm currently on 46, but I think I think it's 46 after this Cole Palmer 1-pointer. So not great. Just a tiny red arrow for me. So let me know how you guys did in the chat down below. I'll be keen to know your scores and also what you guys are thinking about doing for Game Week 19 because there are quite a number of decisions that have to be made. If you have 8 attackers, I think the Cole Palmer yellow card came at a good time for you. You can just bench Cole Palmer. But for my team, I think I do have quite a bit of work to do. So I may have to spend my one free transfer for Game Week 19. Right. So let me know how you guys did in the comments down below. Let me just... Alright, so let's get to some of your questions if you have any. So VJ's in the chat, nice to see you. Great content and enthusiasm. Have a good one, bro. So thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you as well. Surely Nkunku's on the radar. Let's discuss about Nkunku. As of now, I still don't think he is an option. He has only started Nkunku has only he hasn't even started, let's be real, right? He actually only come off the bench twice, this game week and the previous game week. Of course, this game week he scored in the last few minutes. If he didn't score, would we be thinking about him? I think we need to consider that as well because that definitely will have an impact on our decisions. Because say he didn't score, I don't think a lot of us would be considering him super strongly. I don't think he will be getting consistent starts, at least for the next couple of game weeks. Until I see him start a decent number of games, then I would consider him. But he's definitely a player that I rate. Right? His football technical ability is definitely there. Ricky's in the chat as well. Nice to see you. Merry Christmas to you as well. Lewis says, "Hi sir, I am ranked 12 in your league." Wow, that's awesome. 12 is pretty much... probably top 10k maybe. Right, so 53 points this game week. Palmer and Cunha with 1 point each. Yeah, I mean Cunha had a chance at the last minute. He did have a chance at the last minute. So yeah, I mean it is what it is. And honestly, not great viewing as a Chelsea fan, but you know it is what it is. So let's try and I guess speaking to the other Chelsea fans in the chat, let's try and move on from this. But from an FPL perspective, I do have a couple of decisions to make. So I don't have 8 attackers. So for those of you guys I do have 8 attackers, but Adingra is not a player that I want to start. So I am faced with a decision. I have to make a transfer this week, unfortunately. I have to bench Cole Palmer. So let's see what happens there. And aside from that, I think just quickly touching on Game Week 18's scores. Konza didn't keep a clean sheet. That one was quite a bummer. But then again, the Newcastle players also didn't keep clean sheets. So had I taken a hit for maybe Trippier or let's say Trent Alexander-Arnold, I mean Trent got an assist, but had I taken a hit for them, I am not so sure it would have paid off immediately. So I'm not too worried about that. There is still time for me to jump on them if I really want to. I think if I were to go for a premium defender, it would likely be Trent instead of Trippier, right? But let's see what happens. So Livramento and Dubravka both blanked. Of course, when we start Dubravka and Areola is on the bench against Manchester United, and then he picks up his first clean sheet in, I don't know, the whole season. Right, so 8-pointer for Areola on the bench. That one hurt. I actually think that my points on the bench is not as bad. That I've seen a couple of benches with about 26, 27 points. You had Areola and then Gabriel with a bullet header, Taylor and also Archer. So a lot of benches had points this game week. And unfortunately, all the players that we predicted to start did start. Gordon also start. Maybe he blocked one of your bench covers that did well. Palmer also started. So I mean, basically, I think bench jam wasn't that common this game week. And yeah, so Pedro Porro also got his clean sheet wiped out. I think he was on for one bonus point. So 7 points had he kept the clean sheet. But of course, clean sheet got wiped out and 2 points for Pedro Porro instead. Right, and then in midfield, Saka has been super disappointing. I think we need to start having a conversation about Saka. Right? Would you guys sell Saka? I mean, I feel as if he could be leaving my team. I mean, not immediately. He's not an urgent issue to settle right now, but I think there's a good chance that he'll leave my team in the near future. So let's see. I mean, keeping up this kind of returns for 9 million, I'm not impressed by it at all. Right? It's pretty much since the double-digit haul against Tottenham. It's been 9. He missed out the Man City game. So 5, 6, 2, 5, 8, 8, 5, 2, 3, 1. These are not numbers that I would be expecting from Saka, having held him so long. So I think we need to start reconsidering whether Saka is the player that we should be keeping. At least for the time being, we can keep him. I intend to keep him as well because I have other fires to put out. But I think once that's settled, maybe we remove Saka. He could be our route back to Salah if we sell Salah for Haaland, of course. Right, and then Palmer, 1-pointer. That booking, obviously not great, but I think it has saved a lot of people from benching headaches. Right, so we'll take it as it comes. Adingra, 1-pointer. He got subbed off at the 45th minute. I did not expect that, that's for sure. I actually thought he would play the full 90 minutes and then maybe he could have gotten something. And I chose to start him ahead of Darwin Núñez, who also ended up with 1 point. So, I mean, on the balance of things, even going for the Konza transfer that I had, that I was thinking whether I want to do or not, Tsimikas also ended up with 1 point. Right? Unfortunately, he had his collarbone injury, but aside from that, like honestly, I don't think it would have made too much difference. So another thing that we have to talk about as well is Ollie Watkins blanking against Sheffield United. So what a game week. What a game week it was. Let me know how you guys did. Drop all your scores in the chat. Let's see, there's about 20. I don't expect a huge crowd today, but I just wanted to do a last stream for our charity drive. So if you aren't subscribed yet, please do subscribe and you'll be contributing more to charity. Drop all your points in the chat. Let's take a look at how you guys scored. 53 for Lewis. K7 has 47 points. All right. Newson says, safe to make transfers now. I would wait a little bit more. I don't think there's a need to make transfers right now. Boxing Day is it is coming thick and fast, but it's still a while away. So you can make your transfers maybe tomorrow. Any wildcard team for Game Week 19, it's out. I've put it out as a video. You can check it out on the channel. Lewis says sold Cash for Walker. Well, Cash obviously got 1 point. Walker blanked in Game Week 18 because he's away on the Club World Cup. Going for a City defender is interesting. I don't think a lot of people are going for Walker, but the fixtures are definitely there for him. So it's interesting that you've gone for Walker. I don't mind him. I just personally wouldn't go for him. I've got 2 free transfers. I'm getting in Trent and playing either Adingra or Gabriel off the bench for Palmer. Maybe get Richarlison for Adingra. Yeah, so there's a couple of options. We'll discuss my team again. I've actually pre-recorded a Game Week 19 team selection video because unfortunately there's not a lot of time till the Game Week 19 deadline. So I've pre-recorded a video that will be released after this stream. And I discussed a little bit about my transfer plans, but of course, since we are on the stream right now, I don't think people will be rewatching the stream. So I'll put out the video later, and you guys can watch that one as well. But I'm pretty much gonna say similar things, in respect of my transfer plans. So VJ has 51 points, small green arrow, at least Watford and Wrexham won. Awesome, that makes for a Merry Christmas then. 51 points is pretty good score. I think everyone who scored about 50, 47, 48, anything above there, I think you did pretty well, at least a small green arrow. If you had anything more than that, if you started Gabriel and got his 10-point haul, I think you probably are on a green arrow as well. I'm on a tiny red arrow. Let me just make sure of that. I think I'm on a tiny red arrow. Yeah. So I am on a tiny red arrow. Yeah, so this site is live FPL. And basically it allows you to check your live rank. So tiny red arrow, post subs, right? Pre-subs is a green arrow. I'm just 1 point off the safety score, right? So I mean, it is what it is, right? 46 points. I'll take it. We move from here. We move from here. Pretty much a grey arrow, to be fair. We also have a Haaland update on whether he trained or not. I'll show it to you guys in a little bit as well. Maybe it helps your transfer decisions. Lewis says, I also left Gabriel on the bench. Should have started him over Cash. I guess that's a little bit of a hindsight talking there, because pre-game week 18, I don't think a lot of people would have started Cash ahead of Gabriel. Nobody would have predicted him to get a bullet hitter, right? Had to move on a player to catch price rises, still to pay off in long-term Palmer. Sean says 42 points, no Solanke. So for those of you without Solanke, I mean, no one expected him to score a hat-trick. It actually is his first hat-trick in his career, if I'm not wrong. So no one expected it. And in fact, we were all thinking that Forest would have a new manager bounce. Alright, so that went well. They were, to be fair, they were leading 1-0. To be fair, Ruli is on 50 points. Rakesh on 57 points. 57 points is a great score for this week. GV says, will you be benching Palmer? Yes, I will be benching Palmer. Lewis says, I have to bench Palmer also. And Diaz might be injured. Yeah, Diaz might be injured as well, which also bodes well for Darwin Núñez's minutes. So we will really talk about my team later on. I promise you there's lots to talk about. So much has developed over the past, couple of games. I mean, every game we get so much information, but this week is just, insane. Rakesh says, Trent and Gabriel being in the team allowed me to get that 57 points. Of course, with Solanke delivering beautifully. Yeah. Kath Dan says surely Nkunku, Palmer out, Nkunku on penalty kicks for sure. But that's only for one game week then. After that, when Palmer's back from game week 20 onwards, B-Ball Checkmate says start Konza or Bell. Konza or Bell? I think it has to be Konza. Against Manchester United away, I still would start Konza ahead of Bell. GV says Game Week 19 clean sheet odds, best possible team, Liverpool versus Burnley. For the clean sheet odds, it's actually on my Instagram. For the clean sheet odds, let me just put it on screen. So for clean sheet odds, Liverpool are at 40%. So actually Newcastle have the best percentage this week at 48%. So I kind of agree with this because even though defensively they're not the best at home, I mean, right, defensively they're not the best away from home, but at home they are really, really good. Right, so I do expect, and I do agree with this, 48% for Newcastle. I do agree with this one. I mean, other notable ones, Chelsea at 45%, Arsenal 48%, and then it's Liverpool at 40%. Right, so those are the notable ones, and of course Man City at 40% as well. Possible not to get Haaland. Alright, so let's put up a Haaland injury update on screen. So basically, Haaland is not in full training today, is the update that we got from MCFC Toner. Basically, this is a pretty reliable source. I've kind of looked at his past history and what he's tweeted. Generally has been correct. So Haaland is not in full training today. Seems unlikely he'll play any part against Everton, but here's hoping. So it's not 100% conclusive that Haaland is out. Neither is it telling us that Haaland will be back in time. There's no certainty, but at least you can make your decisions off of the fact that Haaland is not in full training today. And if he's not in full training today, when do Man City play? Man City play on the 28th. Right, so there's not a lot of time, right? Basically, there's not on the 27th for those in the UK, right? 27th night, and we are currently on the 24th night. So there's 3 days. I mean, there's not a lot of time for him to recuperate at all. So I honestly think that he misses this one out. He misses the Everton game. Maybe he comes back for the Sheffield game. Right, let me know what you guys think and how you interpret this quote, because the way I see it, I think he would probably miss out against Everton, so I can delay bringing him back one more game week, I guess. Lewis says, watching a stream from Hayward, California. It's 7:17 a.m. and next to San Francisco. Merry Christmas, love the stream. Well, Merry Christmas to you as well. A very Merry Christmas to you. Ruli says, Chelsea assets keep or sell, the team lost again. I think at this point, honestly, I would just have Palmer and just be done with it. I don't think we should touch any of their assets, even Nkunku. Isaac says, best Salah replacements for game week 21. So that's a while away, but I think the options have kind of come up already. Right, Richarlison, Jared Bowen, all great options. Phil Foden could be an interesting differential if you want. Raheem Sterling, he's suspended for game week 19. And I'm not sure people want to go for Raheem Sterling after what we saw. He could have laid the ball off for Cole Palmer for a simple tap-in. But of course, best replacements for when Son and Salah go away. I was thinking Bowen and Kulusevski, and keeping a Haaland, Solanke and Watkins partnership as a front three. That allows me to get Trent as well. I have a similar thinking. Right, I'll show you guys my transfer plans in a bit, but I have a similar thinking as you. GV says, good to get Botman then for the injured Maguire. I think they're still managing Botman. The thing with Botman is he came on earlier than they wanted to, because he did not start the game. Botman was on the bench, and then Lascelles started the game, but he could not carry on after 32 minutes. That's when Lascelles came on, and they had no choice but to bring Botman into the game. So I don't think Eddie Howe wanted to let Botman play that much of a part in that game, but unfortunately he had to, and that obviously could impact his minutes moving forward. So I think he's someone that they'll definitely manage. He's been out for so long. I think they will definitely manage his minutes. So honestly, I don't think I would get Botman. Ricky says 48 points. From an Arsenal fan's perspective, Saka won't get high returns if Martinelli and Odegaard still underperform in open play. Every team are doubling up in the defense, barring Saka. So I do agree with this. I think I am missing an Arsenal defender in my team. I definitely think I could do with an Arsenal defender. Alright, so let me just bring it back to here. So I'm definitely missing an Arsenal defender. I think the simple move could be Guehi to Gabriel. I'll do a poll later. The simple move could be Guehi to either Gabriel or Saliba, and then bench Palmer. So that's one. The alternative is to remove Adingra and do a midfield transfer. So a couple of options that I have. Let's discuss that in a bit. Edwin says, terrible game week, only got 47. Will my vice-captain transfer to another player? I had vice-captained Willian. Not really. I mean, the captain's armband only transfers to your vice-captain if your captain has not played. BJ says, please consider subscribing, share the channel with friends and family. Thank you very much for the plug. For those of you who are watching this, that you're not subscribed yet, all you have to do is subscribe, and I will be donating more to charity. The purpose of today's stream is not only to wish you guys Merry Christmas, but it's also to just give a roundup to our Christmas charity drive that we've been doing for the whole, at least from November, so at least 1.5 months already. I think we are at about £118. I've put the exact amount in the description. So let's see how much we can raise. I'll top it up as we go along, but hopefully we can raise just a little bit more for charity. So if you're watching and you're not subscribed, all you have to do is subscribe. Jeffrey says, Brighton has good fixtures from Gameweek 21 onwards. Any players that we can target? So I mean, unfortunately, Brighton's fixtures are really good. I completely agree with you, but unfortunately, it's just a case where none of their assets are safe to go for, right? I mean, you talk about Mitoma and Adingra. They're both going to go away for the Asian Cup, and in fact, Mitoma is injured right now. Sorry, Adingra is going to the African Cup of Nations, so they'll both be gone from Gameweek 21 onwards. So that makes them non-options. And honestly, the only one that comes to mind is João Pedro. But he does take up a forward position, and the forward positions are pretty much quite set, in that I think Solanke, Watkins, and Haaland are pretty much the ones that a lot of people will be going for as the front three. So I don't think there's space for João Pedro, unfortunately. If only he was listed as a midfielder, I think a lot more people would be going for João Pedro if he was listed as a midfielder. But yeah, I think for Brighton assets, that's pretty much it. Emmanuel says Nkunku. Yeah, I do. I mean, I just feel as if it's not the right time to go for Nkunku. Right. The question that I'll ask myself is, if he did not score that last minute goal against Wolves, would you be considering him? GV says, then I will get Foden for Sterling, and that should be better than defender replacements. What do you say? Yeah, I don't mind Foden for Sterling if this is a transfer that you have to make this game week to get enough attackers. But I mean, then again, you could also bench Sterling. if I had Sterling, I mean, I haven't had Sterling at all this season, but thinking about it, if I had Sterling right now, would I sell him? I would be very tempted to sell him, especially after that performance. You could. Sell Lascelles for Trent. Yeah, Lascelles is injured. I think Lascelles for Trent will be a pretty popular move. Makes sense. Kath then says Brighton cannot even form a senior 11. That is true. Edwin says Estupiñán might be back soon. Gross looks good. So Estupiñán might be back soon, but the thing with the Brighton defense is just they haven't kept a clean sheet at all this season. For Estupiñán to haul, he needs to have clean sheets plus an attacking return. I think there was one game week he did really well, a double-digit haul. In that game week, I think he scored and he also assisted, if I'm not wrong. Pascal Gross is another one. That's a good shout. But he's at 6.4, 6.5. You could just go for Gordon then. With cost saving as well. Sterling should have passed the Palmer. I mean, I know he's a good finisher. I 100% agree. I mean, this is not even the Palmer owner speaking. Like, I 100% agree that he should have passed the ball off to Palmer. Whether or not I own Palmer or not. Okay, let's take a look at the transfer plans. Let's take a look at the transfer plans. Let me pull up the transfer planner, fpl.team. All right, let's do some tinkering. We love some tinkering. Right, by the way, before we get on with the chat, I mean, how rude of me. I have not even put up a poll about our game week 18 scores. So, how did you do? How do you score for game week 18? Right, let's do... what is the upper range? I think more than 50 I think is good this week. Right, more than 55, let's say. More than 55. More than 45. Right. 35 to 45. Give me a moment. Right, I think let's just put more than 60 here. 40 to 50. Let's do 25 to 30. Less than 25. Okay, let me know how you guys did in the chat. I would think the average score is about 45, if I'm not wrong, 45. Let's see how you guys did. Right, so as you guys are voting, I'm gonna quickly talk about my transfer plans before I get to the chat again. So this is currently the plan, right? So unfortunately, Palmer is yellow flagged. So I don't have a choice of rolling the transfer anymore. Originally, I wanted to go with this team. Dubravka, Konza, Livramento, Pedro Porro, Palmer, Saka, Son, Salah, up front, Nunes, Solanke, and Watkins. Now, excuse me, just touching on Livramento and Darwin Núñez, I actually think that even though both of them got benched in game week 18, that was a great thing for my team because at the end Newcastle did not keep a clean sheet. So whether Livramento started or not, there's not too much of a point difference. And it's pretty likely he'll start in game week 19. So I'm happy to start him here. It's pretty much going to be the last game week that I need him. And then Darwin Núñez also missed out. Right? He didn't start. He only came on for a cameo. So I say he gets the Burnley away game. So honestly, I wanted to roll with this team. And the plan was actually to do Darwin Núñez to Haaland in game week 20, right, when Liverpool play Newcastle. And then in 21, the plan was to remove both Salah and Son at the same time with 2 transfers to do Bowen in and Richarlison in. I mean, this was the ideal plan, but unfortunately Palmer had to go and get booked. So, excuse me. So unfortunately, the plans are going to be derailed, and I'm having to think of a new plan, right? So what I'm thinking right now is the front three are fine. Palmer, I will have to bench him. So it is either I'm definitely going to make a transfer. I'm not confident of starting Adingra or Mark Guehi. So the transfer would come either for Adingra or Guehi. So whichever player I bring in would start in place of Palmer. So in terms of defender transfers, the one that I'm really looking at is Gabriel. Right, definitely not as nailed as Saliba, but I like his attacking threat more than Saliba. So that's one. And then I could go Gabriel instead of Palmer. And then after that, from the next game week onwards, I will have Palmer back into the team. So that's fine. So another way I can do it, let's reverse the transfer. Another way I can do it is instead of removing instead of removing Guehi, I can do Adingra out to a couple of other players. Richarlison is one, but I think he's nursing a bit of a back injury. I mean, there's rumors. There's no conclusive report yet, but he could be out. I mean, if he's not, I think he's the one that I would go for. If not, there's also Jarrod Bowen, but Jarrod Bowen has Arsenal this game week, so not the game week to bring Bowen in. So a couple of options here. I think with the way that my defense is set up, I actually prefer doing the defender transfer, even though it is the one with lower upside for sure. Because you take a look at my defense for the next few game weeks, it is in quite a bit of trouble. So from game week 19, they're fine. Konza, Livramento, and Pedro Porro are alright. But come game week 20, it's Liverpool for Newcastle here. Guehi has Brentford at home. I mean, not really super confident of a Palace clean sheet as well. So having an Arsenal defender in already could really help this. And then in 21, it's also pretty much in trouble because Guehi has Arsenal here, Livramento has Man City, and by then he probably has lost his place. Sure, Taylor has Luton, but Luton are playing pretty well. So, yeah, I mean, I could definitely use a defender transfer in game week 19 right now. So for me, the plan is actually to do Guehi to either of Gabriel or Saliba right now. Right? Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think of the plan. Right. Back to the poll. There's 61 of you guys, or 59%, 61% again, are on 40 to 50 points. So, I mean, that seems to be the average for this game week. So anything around there is probably a small red, small green. Hold Palmer. Who is a good replacement? I wouldn't replace Palmer this week. I would just hold him. He still looked really, really good, right? So I would still hold Palmer and have him from game week 20 onwards. I think that's fine. James says, is it a must to buy Haaland? Definitely not. Not this game week at least. I wouldn't buy Haaland now. There's no conclusive news that he will be back in time, and at least based off what we've heard, it is that Haaland is not in full training today. So there's a good chance that he misses Everton and then Sheffield just a few days after. So by then we would have heard from Pep. If we need to bring him in for Sheffield, by all means. There's also a chance that he misses Sheffield, you know. So I think we hold out on Haaland. GV says, yes, I own Sterling. He should have passed the ball. I mean, Sterling was being very, very selfish there, definitely. Edwin says, Jackson and Nunes gets in perfect position but can't score to save their lives. That's the frustrating thing about going for players like them. Like, they always have the fixtures and they're always at the right place at the right time, but they just somehow don't score. Like, it is what it is, man. JR says 63 but rather disappointed. Allergic to getting a captain choice, right? 63 is really good for this week, to be fair. Toby says captaining Saka for Gameweek 19. At the way he's playing, I wouldn't be super confident of that. GV says going for Zinchenko. Go for Zinchenko. I mean, Zinchenko was horrible. Zinchenko played really badly against Liverpool. I think, honestly, he's one of their weakest links. The moment Tomiyasu is back, I think Zinchenko's out of the team. Palmer is too good. I would keep Palmer. I mean, for the price that he's at, I would keep Palmer. Definitely not selling Cole Palmer. Pranav says, is Hwang Hee-chan a better replacement or bench Palmer? I definitely wouldn't buy Hwang now. He's going to the Asian Cup in Gameweek 21. Wanted to release funds, so I did Watkins to Solanke for -4, thinking of the long term. Watkins to Solanke is definitely not a move that I would do. I think Watkins is also a long-term hold. Yeah, also a long-term hold. And 5-3-2 is not the formation that I would go with right now. I don't think clean sheets are easy to predict by any means. Sorry. So really, I don't think I'll be going for 5 at the back. Right, so yeah, there we go with the transfer plans. I think what I'm leaning towards for the time being is to go for the defender transfer. I mean, he's definitely not the one with the highest upside, but I mean, if I can show you guys the team after making this transfer, whether it's for Saliba or whether it's for, Gabriel, whichever it is for, bench Cole Palmer here. Come game week 20, the team actually looks pretty decent. I would start Areola ahead of Dubravka. Livramento comes to the bench. Palmer comes back in. The team looks pretty good, and I have one free transfer, of course. So, I mean, if I have to bring Haaland back in, I could sell Salah. But against Newcastle, at the way that they're playing, I actually think Salah does well. Against Newcastle. But, I mean, we'll see. Right, and then Son has Bournemouth at home. Yeah, I mean, the team looks fine. The team looks fine for Game Week 20. It's only about Darwin Núñez. I could replace... I don't have the exact funds now because I've already moved... If I move for the Arsenal defender, I don't have the exact funds for Haaland anymore. So I may have to take a hit in Game Week 20 if it seems like Haaland is back. So I probably would sell either of Adingra or Livramento. Probably Livramento to a cheap defender, or Adingra. I mean, you can see I'm quite tight on funds, right? So we'll see what happens. I don't think we will get conclusive news on Haaland being back for Everton. So if he misses that one, hopefully, I mean, I don't wish that upon anyone, but hopefully if he misses Sheffield as well, that gives me enough transfers to bring him back for free in 21. Right, so I think I'm likely to go for an Arsenal defender. That's at least the plan for now. Just a question of Saliba or Gabriel. Right, but I'd be interested to know what you guys think. I'm going to put up a poll. And see what you guys would do with my team. So let's go back to this. Right, this is my team for Game Week 19 without transfers made. I'll put up a new poll. Let's end the current one. Yeah, I mean, everyone is pretty much 40 to 50 points. For those of you who got Solanke, as well as maybe a Gabriel Hall, that probably would have been enough for a green arrow. Right, so thank you for voting, and let's put up the new poll. So let me know what you guys would do with my team. Right, what move would you make? Okay, so first one is Gehi to Saliba or Gabriel. The second one is Adingra to Richarlison. The third one is Adingra to Bowen. Alright, so let's see what you guys would do. I've put 4 options there. I'd be interested to see. So Gehi and Adingra are the players out. There's Gabriel, Saliba, Bowen, Richarlison. Let's see what you guys would do. Should I go for Luton defenders? They're at 3.9. I mean, how are Luton's fixtures? If they're at home, they are really good. If they're at home. But I think they do have a number of away fixtures, if I'm not wrong. I mean, it's always... You could very well just bench them for their away fixtures. So it's Sheffield away, Chelsea at home, Burnley away, Brighton at home, then Newcastle away, Sheffield at home. How many clean sheets are there for them? Nah, I probably wouldn't go for a Luton defender. But I do give them the due credit that at home they are a really, really strong defense. Not gonna lie about that. Pep will unleash Haaland on the Everton match. I mean, they got to lock in for the title race. I mean, yeah, but is Haaland fit? I mean, only if Haaland is fit, then he'll be back for the Everton game, right? So 12 votes already. Quite a number if you guys like Jarrod Bowen. But Bowen has Arsenal though. Does that not put you off? Bowen has Arsenal, does that not put you off going for him now? I could go for him in Game Week 21. Sorry, Game Week 20. I could go for him in Game Week 20 when I do Salah out to afford Haaland again. If you completely copy others, you'll never break away from the pack. You will weekly pick 2 or 3 of your own out-of-the-box picks if you deserve to succeed. Yeah, I mean, that's generally how, I guess, the strategy that I adopt for FPL is just to pick a couple of differentials and then just have the rest pretty much template players. So to be fair, I kind of jumped on Solanke super early that week in Game Week 17. And then unfortunately, everyone else jumped on him as well. I think there was a couple of reasons. I'm not sure what it was again. I think because Haaland was out. Yeah, Haaland was injured, so everyone just flocked to Solanke. If he wasn't injured for the Crystal Palace game, I feel like I would have had Solanke earlier than everyone else. So I mean, that's just a bit of a bummer, but I do try to find opportunities to be different from others. I think that's the only way that we can break away from the template. So there's a chance this week. If I do the defensive transfer, it's kind of a It's not a high upside move. I do understand that, but I think it's a kind of a protective move for the future. I will want Arsenal defenders anyway. Saliba is safe, but a little expensive. Funds will be available in plenty from Gameweek 21. Yeah, I mean, exactly. There's going to be loads of funds, so I don't think it'll be an issue. Sterling, Palmer, and Cash all suspended. Who to sell, and is it worth a -4? So it really depends if you're able to field an 11 without them. If you're not, then maybe taking a hit to remove one of them, it'll be a -2 basically. And out of all of these players, I think I would sell Matty Cash first. He's the least likely to get regular starts. James says I had a stinker and got in Bailey. He's a stinker fella. Advice. For the price he's at, for the Aston Villa attack, not the worst at all, I would say, but I just don't like it that he's kind of taken off quite early. That's all. So personally, I wouldn't go for Bailey. I don't think this is a week you sell him. And with the fixtures that they have coming up, I honestly would just keep. It depends on whether you have luxury transfers to make, because I would imagine that you would have to make transfers elsewhere that are more important. Arsenal will win 2-0 or definitely 1-0 against West Ham. That's an accurate prediction, I guess. I have 2 free transfers. My defense is Saliba, Tsimikas, Trippier, Caldwell, Porro. Rest is template. What to do? 2 free transfers. Probably take Tsimikas out then. The rest of your defense looks fine. Tsimikas is the one that will be out for quite a while. Zaniolo header was simply superb. Yeah, it was good. I mean, at the last minute as well. Great header. In fact, I think the best one this season so far has to be Welbeck's one against Crystal Palace. That one was really good as well. Need a budget defender. Conrad says, need a budget defender for 4 million max. Your pick. I think Gusto is a little bit more expensive, but he just made a howler of a mistake against Wolves. He's made quite a couple of mistakes already, Gusto, in that one match. And I think this is his first start in quite a while. And he's at 4.1. Right, so I'm not so sure that he's going to get consistent starts. I think there's a good chance Disasi could just go back to right back again, you know. Malo Gusto doesn't give me a lot of confidence. I would bench Palmer for Odingra if I were in your situation. And would you not make a transfer? Because I'm thinking of making a transfer. Not happy with Chelsea defense. Yeah. I mean, Levi Colwill also had quite a rubbish game, to be fair. He also didn't play that well. Kudus, is there no way Arsenal defense? Kudus is there. No way Arsenal will keep a clean sheet. I mean, that's why I say it's the low upside move, right? Bailey for Gordon, nah. Probably need to transfer Trippier too. Not this week, I guess. He has Nottingham Forest at home. Van Heck for 4 million. Thoughts? I mean, the Brighton defense just doesn't give me confidence. So, unfortunately, they haven't kept a clean sheet the whole season. Unfortunately, I just don't think he's an option. Pranav says I would roll. I should have put roll as an option as well. But for those that have voted, 46% of you would do Odingra to Bowen. That's interesting. Thoughts on Nkunku? I think I mentioned this at the start of the stream. I don't think now is the time to buy Nkunku just yet. I think about it this way. If he had not scored against Wolves, will you be thinking about him as much right now? Will you be confident of his starts the next few games? I mean, definitely Sterling being suspended and Palmer being suspended helps his minutes, but that's only for game week 19. That's only for game week 19. From game week 20, are you certain that he starts? And the turnaround is quite tight. The turnaround is quite tight from 19 to 20. It's not that long at all. So I'm not so sure Nkunku starts all those games. And Chelsea do have quite a number of attackers. Is Tsimikas to Gomez a good move? Nah. The only Liverpool defender I would go for right now is Trent. Do you have funds for Trent? Yes, I do have funds for Trent. I mean, it is a move that I considered as well, but I don't know. I mean, it is tempting to go for Trent, but I also want an Arsenal defender, you know? How many clean sheets do we expect Trent to get during this period? Burnley away, Bournemouth away. Bournemouth away is not an easy game. Newcastle at home, fair enough. Chelsea at home, possible. Arsenal away, I don't think so. I mean, Trent is also someone that I could bring in, for sure. It's a good shout. That's a good shout. Conrad says, so who to get for 4 million for a defender? I mean, I don't think you can. Yeah, it's thin. It's thin. Your options are pretty thin. So I guess maybe a Luton defender. I mean, you don't really have good options here. Maybe Van Heck. I think Van Heck is probably the best one, but Brighton's defense is not good at all. Brighton's defense is just not good. So I can't sit here and tell you there's a good sub 4 million defender that you should buy. James says, big ups Leon, love your content. God bless you. Merry Christmas. May Jesus be ever present in your life as he has been. Well, thank you very much, James. I wish you a very Merry Christmas as well. All right, for you and your family. For those of you in the chat or you're watching the stream, thank you for coming down as well. This is a kind of a charity stream plus a Christmas stream. So if you're here and you celebrate Christmas, I just wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Right, and it's of course not too late. It's still the last day of our charity drive. I will be making the donation tomorrow and I'll post it on the YouTube community page as well as Instagram and Twitter as well. So if you aren't subscribed, all you have to do is subscribe and you will be donating more money to charity. Chelsea needs someone to convert. Nkunku is nailed, I think. I mean, with the way they managed Reece James, I think Nkunku will also be managed. I mean, the injury that he had is definitely a serious one that kept him out for quite a while. I don't think they rush him back at all. Gomez is good, but shouldn't get a yellow card. Liverpool clean sheet chances are good. Man City's clean sheet chances are also good. I mean, the fixture is Burnley away. There's definitely a good chance that Trent will haul here. I'm just not super convinced of the number of clean sheets that Liverpool are going to get. But with Trent, of course, you don't really need clean sheets. I mean, he's very attacking. Should I bring in Trent, Walker, or Gabriel? I have Saliba. If you have Saliba, I think it depends on your budget right now. It depends on your budget. I think I don't mind a double up. That's what I'll say. I don't mind an Arsenal double up. In fact, at the price that they're at, I think you could kind of justify going without Trent and just doubling up on the Arsenal defense. Maybe a Porro, Saliba, and Gabriel. I think that's a pretty good back three. Yeah. Who is the best Simicast replacement? Again, depends on your budget. In the premium category, I would probably go for Trent ahead of Trippier. Don't think I would buy Trippier right now. In the 5 million-ish bracket, there's Porro. I think Udogi is also a decent one that is slightly cheaper than Porro. He's also very attacking. The Arsenal defenders also can be considered. And then Konza, right? So Konza is also a decent one to go for. Even though he has Manchester United away here, I think the Aston Villa defense is good enough that you can hold for quite a while. Oh, Merry Christmas to all of you guys in the chat. Thank you for the wishes. Conrad, Ray as well. Conrad's 25th in my league. I have a lot of you guys who are scoring very, very well in my league as well. It's nice to see that. I'm glad that you guys are doing very well. There's plenty of game weeks to go still. We're actually kind of at the halfway point. Game week 19 reaction stream. I mean, there will still be a deadline stream, but we're kind of at the halfway point of the season. So there's every chance that we can still, go even higher than we are right now in the next few game weeks. So lots of game weeks still to get points. So 32 votes. A lot of you guys think I should go for Adingra to Bowen. So let's say I end the poll now and I switch it up. I put Trent as an option as well. So since the most popular one is Adingra to Bowen, let's compare it to Gehi to Trent. Let's see. Let's see what you guys would do. I foresee the Trent one being very popular. I mean, I could do that as well. Could do that as well. Lewis says 12th in your league, soon to be first. Awesome. Love that confidence. You gotta love that confidence. Alright, I mean, lots of you guys are talking about the Trent move. It's definitely one that I will consider, but I do have to think about it a little bit. We'll see what happens. I think I'm going to leave it here for our reaction stream. So thank you all of you guys for coming down. We've kind of streamed for about an hour or so. And that's pretty much how long I planned to stream as well. Thank you for coming down and saying Merry Christmas and spending your Christmas Eve with me. All right, so I don't think I will have content out on Christmas Day itself. I will release the team selection right after this. And then I'll probably see you guys on the deadline stream after that as well. So for Gameweek 19, it's a Boxing Day deadline. So do take note. It's in the afternoon or late afternoon on Boxing Day itself. All right, so I'll catch you guys then. But if not, I think this is pretty much it. All right, so thank you guys for coming down. Merry Christmas just before we go off. If you aren't subscribed, do subscribe and contribute to the charity drive. But if not, I'll be making the donation tomorrow. Thank you for all the support. And I will catch you guys in the Game Week 19 deadline stream on Boxing Day. Bye-bye.